What's going on, man?
Look at, just so you know, it ain't no joke. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, you got the real shit. All right, you're doing the real deal, yeah. How we doing, man?
Look at, it's like the guy that's sitting on the edge of the bed.
You know, how unbelievable is that? You can just say the guy on the edge of the bed and everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. What would you do, man? Could you imagine if that was you? Holy shit.
I'd still be at home.
Man, that is
his name was originally Wood, right?
Wood, yeah.
Yeah, his real name's Wood.
Yeah, no, his name should have been Trunk.
How you holding up, man? What's good? How are you doing?
Oh, man, so since the last time I talked to you guys, I think the first time I ever alluded to the fact that, well, first of all, no one had ever asked me a question about the idea of something else being out in the universe. And so when I said, I was a little bit of conspiracy theory, I remember one of you guys pulled up a chair and you're like, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
All I've had is time to just sit and watch freaking conspiracy theory videos and videos about the pyramids and monoliths. And
monoliths,
dude, I've gone down this ugly rabbit hole of like, what am I doing with my life? I'm like that character that Woody Harrelson played in 2012, where he's on the top of the mountain with a backpack and a radio, and the end is near.
That I honestly feel personally responsible for that. Now we really made Gabriel Iglesias question his faith.
I mean, the thing is, once you go down those rabbit holes and you really start to read some shit and watch some stuff, it's overwhelming because you're just like, well, wait, what about this and what about that? And if that's true, then that must be true. And if that's false, then that's true. You go crazy.
YouTube doesn't help. YouTube's like, you think that shit's cray? Watch this.
What do you think's going on with these monoliths?
I don't know, man. Like, I find it hard to believe that some, supernatural creature just. Oh man, I forgot my keys. I left them over in Utah in between these rocks. That's my. I think it's just some rich dude who said, you know what, let me have fun with the world. And he saw far enough ahead where he's like, you know what, Google Maps can't track me on this one.
Well, and then it popped up in Romania too. Right after the one in Utah disappeared, there was one in Romania on a hillside. So it's got to. My first thought, and I think we should still do this, is if we just put up our own, we could somehow build one of these and we just dropped one in Central Park right now, the world would go crazy.
Yeah, so I think somebody was just messing around.
I'll take you a step further. You keep saying someone. The answer is Kanye West.
Ooh.
If anyone was going to do this, if anyone had the funds and the insanity to do this, it's Kanye West.
Interesting. I could see that. Yep.
Did they say what kind of metal it was, or was just?
No, that was the thing. It wasn't even really metal. They said it felt almost like cardboard. It was hollow. It wasn't, it wasn't anything of substance really. At least the one in Utah. I don't know about the one in Romania, but yeah, I don't think it's some solid block of silver or some extraterrestrial, material. This is probably gonna be some marketing stunt for some sci-fi movie coming out or something like that, and it's going to really piss me off when that's the case.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was just somebody with money that thought far enough ahead, didn't know there was going to be a pandemic, and he's like, well, that's just convenient.
And is there any better way to spend your money than making the world go crazy?
If I could do it, I would. If I get rich, watch out, world. I'm going to fuck with you guys every day.
That sounds like the government.
Oh, you really been hitting the YouTubes.
They're gonna get us, man. They're gonna get us.
Sounds exactly like the Illuminati, doesn't it?
What is the weirdest thing that you find yourself kind of being like, I don't know, could be possible? Where's the deepest place you went in the rabbit hole?
For me, it's like structures, any type of crazy engineering. So like, Machu Picchu or the pyramids, or when they start showing these places where and they always get the guy with the accent to do it. So it gives him more credibility.
Yes, right? Yes, for sure.
He's like, I find it remarkable that the precision behind the cuts is such that, and I'm like, ooh, and it's like the David Attenborough dude. And, so anytime they show those structures where it's like they got the girl there and she's like, you can't even put a credit card in between the lines,
right?
And everything is so precise. And I'm like, yeah, meanwhile, my contractor can't get my pergola straight in the backyard.
It's so true about the narrator, you know? If it was a guy like me and I was like, yeah, listen, these things are just too big. You know, it doesn't work. But you give me a good British accent and a pair of glasses, and I'll believe anything the guy's saying.
I'm just glad we found work for the lifestyles of the rich and famous guy. Like, he'd
right.
been out of work for a little while.
Yeah, give me a little Robin Leach, and I'll believe anything
Robin
he's
Leach.
saying. What?
Man,
so you're thinking that Machu Picchu and the pyramids and whatnot, you thinking they're extraterrestrial?
When you say it like that, it's like, people think that, then you're nuts. But I'm like, well, no. I'm just mathematically speaking, based on the size of something and how precise and straight, they didn't have tools in those times, or at least there wasn't evidence of special tools in those times. So yeah, it does make you question it, because like I said, and when they say stuff like the modern tools of today couldn't even do that, then it's like, all right.
Well then, yeah, yeah. So what do you think about the idea? I'm of the school of thought that they weren't built by aliens per se, but that aliens came down, maybe gave them the tools, gave them the blueprint, and kind of gave them the alley-oop, like the assist.
You know what? That's what I'm leaning towards. It's one of those things where it's like, if we know that there's something like, how many times have you seen on like those nature shows, whatever, when they show like a chimpanzee, right? And you're like, oh, wow, the chimpanzee is very smart. It's very smart. Let's teach it something. And then they teach it sign language and like, yeah, let's teach it sign language and let's teach it how to play with these toys and let's teach it how to do that. And we're just like, oh, wow, look, they're smart. We can teach them things. I feel like we're the chimp in this situation.
Yeah, exactly, man. We're just one big experiment. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm on board with this totally. And
so
you know what?
like,
You go deeper. They say that like guys like Leonardo da Vinci, and there were certain guys who were like way too ahead of their time. That like the writings he was doing and the things he was sketching, like he just couldn't have possibly even envisioned these things. I think again, it's like when you see guys like that, they were just buddies with an alien. It's like it's just not possible unless there was somebody hooking them up a little bit. I like where this is going, Gabriel. I can talk about this for hours.
These are the things that my brain like just refuses to process as a protection for myself, and it's just like we're not even going to talk about if that like dog-headed god was real.
Yeah,
like,
because
if he was actually the one that came down and gave them
once
tools,
you
like,
take the red pill or whatever, you can't go back. Now all I think about constantly, I'm like, is this even real? What are we doing here? Where am I?
Now later on when you go on your phone's gonna have a list of all these different videos and documentaries, and you're like,
Absolutely.
what the hell? It's because they're
Always
watching,
listening.
bro.
So have you been thinking about this since our last time talking? You're just going down the conspiracy route for the last few months?
Yeah, well, there's always something in the back of my mind. But again, publicly, that was the first time I'd ever had a conversation like that. And people will always ask you questions, whether it's about religion or sports or politics. And those are things that I've usually tried to avoid. But I was kind of like, yeah, conspiracy theories, like, JFK, that's just a part of the list of all kinds of, who's really responsible for 9/11. Now, some of these are real conspiracies, and some are just like, dude, come on.
Right. Yeah, right. How about a few months ago?
A higher power, I'm like, I find it hard to believe that the world got its shit together in like 200 years. To go from beating rocks together on side of a cliff, avoiding whatever animals were around, to all of a sudden, hey, look, fix my Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? That's a lot of progress in a short period of time.
The government just this year confirmed that they had materials that are not of this planet. And nobody's talking about it. They just said straight up, we have this material that we don't know where it came from. Nobody on the planet Earth could build something like this. And everyone's just like, oh, that's interesting. No, this is fucking crazy. This is a crazy announcement. Why aren't we talking about it?
People are so numb right now. They're just like, but are they going to open the restaurants for us to eat?
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be so disappointed if you're anyone who's been in the government for the last 60, 70, however many years, and you're like, we can't tell people about this. It will create worldwide hysteria.
You have this secret's eating you alive. Yeah.
And then you tell us, and we're like, yeah, we don't care. like they kept all that a secret from us because they predicted we would lose our minds and just go into riots and burn down buildings because, God wasn't real and nothing's real.
Yeah,
and it's like, everyone's like, yeah, no, it's fine.
As long as, can I go into McDonald's or not? That's really what it comes down to, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what people care about right now. Hey, do I have to wear the mask all the time? When can I go eat? Because that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, man, they're shutting down restaurants. You can't even eat outside. This is bullshit. I'm tired of cooking.
You know who impresses me the most of these people, though? Of the masks are the people who still don't know how to wear one. If you don't wear one, like I understand that more than someone who just still hasn't figured out how to put the mask on.
Like this. Hey, I'm good, right? This is almost worse doing it this way. It's on your lips. It's like, just put it on normal.
If you think it's a government conspiracy or if you think that like masks actually get you sick, I can find more common ground with you than someone who has taken a year to learn how to put on a mask.
Unbelievable, man. Have you
don't
been?
Don't get me wrong. I'll wear the mask if I'm in public. If I'm doing something, I wear it, and I wear it the right way. But I'm not driving with it on.
No, of course not. Yeah,
and if no one's around, I'm not putting. I'll do the thing where I'll tuck it under my chin and make it like some beard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a little chin strap. Yeah. Have you been doing any stage work? Have you been out there at all? You trying to do any of this alternative comedy?
I've been alternative. I've been off the grid for about 8-9 months up until about 2 weeks ago. I got an opportunity to do a private gig in Vegas. Ooh. And I was horrible. Oh
really?
My god,
a lot of rust.
Yeah, it's like that guy who's just like buff and fit, and then he stops going to the gym because he met the love of his life. Right? I don't need to work out no more. And then they break up, and he's like, "Well, back to the gym." And now he can't even hang for 5 minutes on the treadmill. It's just it was bad. It was rough. I forgot my material. I was just all over the place. It was uncomfortable. It felt good a little bit because it made me feel new again. I'm like, it made me like wonder, where's this going to go? How is this going to end? Because for the most part, if you got your act together and you know what jokes work and you know how to close the show, then you're just like, okay, let's just, let's handle this. But man, I was scared.
What is it? What exactly does private event mean? Like, how many people are we talking?
There was about 100 people there. It was a special function for one of the hotels in Vegas. And they hired me to entertain their high rollers.
Do you think they could tell, or was this something just you have a standard for yourself, or do you think the audience was like, oh boy?
I think they were just happy to be out too.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of one of those things where I'd say the first 20 minutes was just conversational. Like, you guys have no idea how weird this feels. Like, we're outside. Like, we're not at home. Like, wow, I'm touching a microphone. This is crazy.
Right. Did you get that same rush to, like, at this point in your career, do you need it? Are you like thrilled to be back up there, or is it like, you've moved on to acting and you've got the show in season 3 and like that's where your mind is going?
I'm still a comic if they allow me. I will do anything else just because it's you got to do something. If I'm just going to rely on whenever they let us go back, that's when I'll go back. No, I got to do what I got to do. So whether it's do movies, do voiceovers, do hosting, do commercials. I mean, I have hoed myself out on a whole nother level now. Right now, I think I got a couple commercials running online. One is for Old Spice. Because
why not? Hit me with the Old Spice tagline. What do you do in the commercial? What's the line?
Well, the Old Spice. I have this product called Below Deck, and basically it's to keep your nether regions. I was gonna say,
dry. I can tell where we're going with that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's you keep it dry, man. So you take this, you go under there and you kind of just do this number and it's kind of do one of those.
Lift and spray.
And you're beyond. Wow, that smells good. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. If I was like in your position, I would take everything, especially the voiceovers, man. Voiceover work is the gig. You just lend that perfect voice of yours and you're done. Oh my God, I would do that for every animated movie that comes my way. Whatever.
And sometimes you got to create your own opportunities. Like I started selling Funkos.
Look at that.
It's a Funko of me and my dog This is the second one, and yeah, we started selling these, and they're pretty popular. They fly off the shelf. So
people love
the holiday thing.
You take your rabid fan base that you just have, like the fluffy fans, mix them with the Funko fans, and you've got yourself a recipe for a lot of fucking money.
We mix them all up, man. We mix them all up. So it's like,
Funkos?
Yeah, so
Funkos have become like the new like Beanie Baby, right?
Yeah, they
like
are.
a Beanie Baby or
it's like the
a Pokemon card or a Pog or something like that. Where, like people love collecting that. We have guys here who have like their desks are just covered in Funkos.
Funkos are, you know, it's the original baseball card was a collectible, you know,
right?
And so then little by little things started popping up, whether it was bobbleheads or Beanie Babies back then, or Pokemon cards, and now it's
I don't know how I missed baseball cards.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
I like skipped like 3. It's like U.S. bonds.
Did you know about that world at all, or did like someone in your team come and say like, hey, there's these dolls, these Funko dolls, like get on board with it?
I knew about the Funkos a few years back, but I wasn't as into them. I was more so like, ooh, I want one made. I do have friends and family that have some insane collections. My personal trainer, I'll put his business out there. That dude, he claims it's for his kids, but he has for my children. Yeah, and the kids are just like, they don't know half the figures. He has over 700. Woo. And my cousin is in the 700-800 range too, where I asked him the other day, what is the value of all your collection? He goes, well, recently when I scanned him, and I'm like, scanned him, wow. He said he's got about $17,000 worth of Funkos. And I messed up because I asked him in front of his wife, so that really messed up Thanksgiving.
yeah, 17,000, huh? We could really do that around the house. We could get a new this, we could fix that.
Yeah, she was like, I'm buying a car after this.
What a spot for you to be in, though, where you're like, I see the Funko like passion. Not really interested in buying one, but I would like to be made into one.
I could have
there are very few people who can say, like, I'd like to be an action figure.
Yeah. And
it works out for them.
Yeah. Well, the way that it works is that we had originally reached out to them a few years back and said, hey, I'm comic. I got so many numbers on social media. I've been in show business for so long, because they pick their topics, whether it's television or movies or just icons or, certain types of sports legends and stuff like that. So they have their categories, but they didn't have a comics category. So I said, I'm a comedian, and I think you guys should have a comedians category. And they're like, oh, okay. They kind of entertained the conversation for a little bit, but then they came back and they said, we just don't feel that you're on brand with what we're doing. And, it's one of those, it's not you, it's me kind of a thing. And reach out, a few years later, see if things are different. And sure enough, we did. I had the right person make a phone call, and they entertained the idea, but I think they were trying to brush me off, because they said, look, we won't license a Gabriel Iglesias Funko, but we will produce one for you. So basically, you would pay us, we'd make the figure, and then you could sell it on your own. And I'm like, well, that actually sounds cool.
Yeah.
And so then
it sounds better to me almost.
They gave me a really steep number of Funkos I had to order. And I think thinking that, this is gonna get rid of him once and for all. And next thing I know, I got a semi truck in front of the office.
Wow, that many! Holy shit!
Oh yeah, and they all sold. So we called them back and we said, "Hey, can we get some more?" And they're like, "Really?" We're like, yeah. And now it's a little bit different. Now it's like, oh well, we have this and we have that. And I'm like, you didn't give me that option before.
I was gonna say, fuck that. No.
So I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta, when people say you take chances on yourself, gamble on you. And that was one of those that just really paid off. So now we're on our second. We're working on a couple more figures right now, but I'm definitely part of that Funko world. And I'm probably the only real face that they have that's consistent, because I'm always marketing it, putting it on social media. And, if Comic-Con was around, I'd definitely be at Comic-Con. I was there last year. And I was supposed to be there this year, and of course,
is this like your big money maker right now? As the pandemic hits and things dry up, you've got this Funko cash cow. That's got to be a nice surprise.
Oh no, it kills. It's awesome. It's one of those things where it's like the Funko people have their own world. I call them Mother Funkos, and their own world. And then of course you mix that up with an actual fan base, and it's magic.
Shit.
You know, you said something there though that stuck out to me. Oh, hello.
Yeah,
and you said
I know
gamble on
I know
yourself.
this is weird. He was sitting behind me, but he wanted to be in front.
Star.
I collect chihuahuas too.
But you said gamble on yourself, and I feel like that's an easy thing for Gabriel Iglesias to say.
You're not really gambling
Right?
much right
like,
now.
are you gambling? Or because like a homeless guy on the street, if he tells me to gamble on myself, I'm gonna be like, well, that's a real gamble. Are you gambling on yourself?
Well, the way I figured, it's like comedy got me to a certain place, and then it's one of those. What are you gonna do with that money? Dick off and buy another car, which I've done. I says, or let me spend some money to try to see if this product can do something, because I've done that in the past. I got a whole merchandise line, and I have there's been some things that have been successful and some things that have bombed that I still have 10,000 of in the back.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things where it can be a gamble if something is not successful. And you spend a certain amount of money to have something made, but people aren't willing to spend money to buy it, or they're like, we want it at this price, but you're like, no, I spent this much. You gotta at least spend this much so I break even. And sometimes I have lost on it, so it was a gamble because I have lost.
We got some of those merch boxes ourselves.
Yeah.
This keychain koozie gonna kill it.
Right. Exactly. All right, well, we got a few more questions for you here. Hopefully we can open up your mind a little bit more to some of the crazy, the rabbit holes we can go down. But we're going to answer the internet once again. Let's go with, okay, this is kind of perfect. If you had to pick one person to be the ambassador for the human race, if aliens come down to meet them for the first time, who would you pick?
Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, people we ask this to are usually a good answer. Like Gabriel Iglesias is a good answer.
You would really be great.
After this past
Multicultural,
weekend, I
multiple
think
languages, sense of humor. You'd be a good one.
I don't know, man. I think I'd shut down. I think if I'm that's a hell of a that's bigger than the Vegas show. So
you have to work on your act a little bit first.
Yeah,
before you meet the aliens.
I got to work on my whole hey, welcome to the world kind of a thing. But if not me, I think after this weekend, I'd say we should get Snoop, man.
Yeah. Great answer. He was incredible, huh?
He was the star of the night as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I saw the fight, and I was excited to see Tyson more than anything. I met Roy Jones, but I was excited to see Tyson back in there. And
you're a big boxing fan?
What's that?
You a big boxing fan?
Yes. And so, to see the two legends going at it, I was excited for the first 30 seconds of the first round. And then it was, like Snoop said, this is like two uncles fighting at a wedding. It's just like, oh, my God.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Do you, as a boxing fan, do you think someone like Jake Paul or the Pauls getting into boxing, do you think that's good for the sport, or do you think it's like it makes it a sideshow?
I think that it is good for the sport because it's bringing a whole new set of eyes to the business. Mm-hmm. Everybody's talking smack about Jake Paul, and however you feel about the guy, he's got numbers. He does stuff. He's like a white version of 6ix9ine. You say he's crazy. You say, what the hell is he doing? And I can't believe, this guy is still out there, but he's out there. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that he brings these millions of viewers to a whole different world, I think it's a great thing because, people can see and watch. And the dude, hey, say what you want. He knocked out two fools. All right.
Yeah.
So
he can throw punches, man.
I mean, I think they know how far they can take him. Clearly, he was more trained than that guy he beat in the ring the other day. Poor guy. But I think having him, I think he's like the modern day Butterbean for right now until he gets good, because his swings are they're crazy swings, and if he connects, then he's good to go. But
who would you box in a celebrity event?
Oh shoot, man. Probably Mario Lopez, because I know I think I could take Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez boxes, but I outweigh Mario by like 150 pounds, so I think I can take.
We had Mario on probably last week or 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about, we were actually busting his balls because he's only a blue belt in judo, but as he explained it, the blue belt is actually pretty difficult to get.
Yeah,
no, he's very gifted, and I'll take nothing away, but
I'll kick his ass.
Size
matters.
Case does matter. Hey, don't make me get the big microphone. Right? I love Mario. Mario and I are friends, but yeah, man. you know, if I was to connect even one, man, you know,
he's out.
I got him by a lot.
All right. Would you rather live with your parents for the rest of your life, or you always have to use toilet paper as napkins?
Ooh.
I got no problem using toilet paper as napkins.
Oh, no
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of.
No, when you think about you're eating like hot wings, you got sauce all over, and you touch it, and it sticks to your hands, and you rip it. You're ripping through it. You can't actually get anything off your fingers. Then you got the paper on your fingers. Everything else you touch. It's a nightmare.
I don't need napkins. I'm wearing pants. I got pockets.
You got me there. I'll wipe it on my boxers. Nobody sees inside my pockets.
Put my hands in my pockets and wipe them off, and then that's it.
Inside the hoodie.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All of my clothes and the parts you can't see are just disgusting.
Covered in sauce.
You're gross.
How many rats would it take to overwhelm you in a fight?
How many rats would it take to overwhelm me in a fight? The irony of you asking that question is that we're in my conference room here in Long Beach, California, and apparently I have a rat problem in this room.
Yikes.
Because the counter behind me, this right here, this area used to have snacks for anybody that would walk into the conference room. So we had little bowls that had chips and candies and just whatever. You know, you walk into a conference room and I try to do it to make everybody feel comfortable because I hate walking into meetings.
The snack room here, it's like the most popular thing in the office. Everybody's always crowded around it.
It puts you in a different mood. And I've walked into so many meetings where all they have is like water and would you like a soda? And I'm like, you got anything And so I guess there's been a rat that found out about my little collection of snacks and stuff and started throwing its own parties. So I'd come into the room and I'd grab like a bag of Cheetos and I'd pick it up and there'd be a giant hole in the side and all the Cheetos are gone. And I'm like, oh my God. And this dude was eating everything. He was eating Cheetos and what do they call them? York peppermint patties.
Oh,
say what you want. That dude got some good breath.
Yeah. He's eating good, man.
The fact that you're just sitting in that room right now knowing that it has not a rat problem per se, but a rat who lives there is one of the braver things I've ever seen in my life. I'd be like, I'd have my, like, are you sitting like crisscross applesauce?
Well, rats, when I brought in my friend who's a pest control guy, he gave me the whole rats like to stick to the corners, stick to the darkness. Certain sounds freak them out, so they're not just going to be running around the middle of the room.
So stay right in the middle, then, babe. Yeah, right on the top of that table.
Actually, I have a show on Nickelodeon that has animals on it, and one of the episodes was rats, and I had rats crawling on me, and I was totally cool with it. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I would have a pet rat. Like, if this dude was like, you know what? Listen, Gabe, I appreciate the snacks and stuff. If we could meet somewhere in the middle, common ground, like I won't bite you or spread disease. Just keep putting the snacks out, and I'll pop my head. And every time you mention the movie Ben, I'll come in and be like, hey, and then I'll make cameos.
You're the Rat King, Gabe, the fucking Rat King, man. Last one here. If you could get access to one person's phone to look at all their stuff, who would it be?
Probably President Trump's.
What are you looking for specifically in that?
I don't know, man. It's just one of those like, let's see what happens. Because I think most people would say, oh, they're partners or their ex, partner or whatever. But come on. At this point, if you want to see that bad, you probably already know what's on it.
Yeah,
but,
I have no interest in my partner's phone. You have to make me look at their phone. Yeah. I have no.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the drafts, the stuff that never made it to social media, like the stuff that he wrote out.
I'll tell you what. I don't think that man has many drafts.
He lets it fly. He's usually press and publish.
Oh, that'd be sad too. No drafts at all. Like everything is correct.
I honestly think all of my drafts are just an accident. Like I never have a draft like, all right, we'll save that for later. But basically, anytime I'm going to say something, I'm just like, all right, well, let's just say it.
Yeah, we're idiots. That's probably why we're here.
Now, how many times have you sent something that you didn't make a draft of where you had to apologize for it?
None. Well, I don't think any.
We don't do much apologizing. Yeah. That's the thing.
Okay, that's a better question. How many times should I have apologized?
Many.
That's probably more. Nice. But they're not bad apologies. It's just like I thought this quarterback was better. Like it's not like something I have to issue like an apology to like a group of people.
A press release.
Yeah, it's just like, I was wrong. Like I would have picked the other guy.
Yeah, it's mostly I'm dumb. Yeah, that's what our apologies are. Sorry, I'm dumb. All right, man. Well, we appreciate the time. Mr. Iglesias comes out on December 8th on Netflix, season 3. So you're cooking, man. I mean, getting several seasons in there. That's a blessing.
I still have my animal show, so hopefully I'll get a free rat out of the deal.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, Gabe.
Thanks, you guys. I'll see you on the dark web.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Later.
All right.
I'm gonna hit you with a little YouTube sabermetrics. Okay, only 15% of people who watch the videos on the KFC Radio channel are actually subscribed. That means,
you fucking lurkers! I'm
right?
tired. Yeah, I'm
free
tired of
85%
lurkers.
freeloaders.
Retweet, like, fucking heart on Instagram.
Rate, review, subscribe.
If you enjoy content, double tap it.
Literally,
double tap to subscribe.
Just click. It doesn't. I think you only have to click it once, not even double.
Well, okay,
just
fine.
one click.
But I'm not a mathematician. Just a one click works.
Because I don't want. If you double click, you might subscribe and then unsubscribe.
Oh, true.
So just one click.
3 clicks.
3 clicks to subscribe, because otherwise, I mean, it literally doesn't affect you at all, and it will basically make our careers so much better.
Oh,
Please
so much
fucking
better.
do it.
Oh, you'll get us so good.
Please.
You'll get us going
Come
so
on.
good. 85% of you. Triple
Don't
like.
be poor.
Triple time. The thing. The subscribe thing.
Smash that button, as they say.